Hey guys, welcome back to Sockets and Sideburns. Just a quick video today to kick the channel back off again before we get into some more serious videos. Now over the summer I had a holiday to Florida, USA, took the kids to Disney before the wheels fall off. I am happy to report though that I managed to sneak in some time to get a look at some tools, and I went to both Home Depot and Harbor Freight. So in this video I'm going to show you some of the things that I've bought and also go over what I've been up to, including an absolutely cursed brake job that I've just finished, and I'll go over the next lot of videos that are going to be coming up on the channel. Now first, I took some video for you all to see of Harbor Freight and Home Depot. Honestly, I don't think the Americans realize how good they've got it. All we've got here is the likes of Halfords and B&Q. These places are just cathedrals of tools. Here we are at Home Depot first. Where in the UK can you go and see the Milwaukee full lineup like this? I got my hands on the mid-torque and the angle die grinder here, just to have a quick try. You can see it on the end there. And we head up the aisle. You got a whole stand just for Dremel stuff. You got chop saws on the right. And there's the full Milwaukee USB lineup there as well. Oils. Lubricants, all spray cans, polishes. And here's some of the hand tools here. I think the brand in Home Depot is Husky. None of this really caught my eye. I actually only got one thing from Home Depot. And out in the actual entrance, I missed these on the way in, but you got all these boxes, the Milwaukee box as well. Now over at Harbor Freight, and you won't believe this, all these tools you're about to see all under one roof. You got paddle mixers and things like that on the left there. Right next to a bunch more chop saws. Polishing belts, sanding belts, polishing compounds, whole thing just full of gloves. Pillar drill on the right, along with some vices there. Again, polishes, linishes, that sort of thing. I've been looking at these hammers, but they were just a bit too pricey for me. They're kind of copying the snap-on dead blows, but they were a bit too pricey for my liking. You got engine cranes and engine stands, creepers as well. Just the sheer range of tools here. I was just blown away by this. Bench grinders, polishers, bunch of heavy-duty wrecking type stuff. Welders on the left there. Some of the, I guess it's 110 over there, plug-in power tools. Not really interested in any of their power tools or the battery lineup either, not with the Milwaukee stuff that we've got. And you see here we're getting into, getting into the tool storage area here, and just about to be upcoming these carts. Now we've got these is it 5-drawer carts. We've got copycats of these. I think these are sold all over the world. We've got these in the UK. They're much cheaper over there, though, of course they are, and in much nicer colour range as well. This grey is gorgeous. But this full drawer cart here, we don't have anything like this for sale in the UK, especially not for that kind of price there. $500. I mean, it's insane. They do not realise how good they've got it. We've got the Icon lineup here. They're definitely going after the tool trucks with these. Got the full mirror polish on these. And they're still a bit pricey, but you got the lifetime warranty, and they're definitely going after the tool truck look with them. And then you've got some slightly cheaper, the Pittsburgh brand, I'm thinking is just a step below that. Nice ratchets, real long, again going for that snap-on sort of look, that tool truck look. And this here, you'll see at the end of the video, this is some serious foreshadowing right there. over to the socketry here that they had. Again, I don't need any of this, had all this kind of thing for years, but still nice to see what they've got. And this is a fair price for what you're getting, I believe, over here. Now, this is where they just completely blow anything available in the UK out of the water. This icon box here, just look at the size of this. And it's not expensive either, not for what you're getting, not by a long way. The drawers are just enormous. You got stainless top as well, full hutch on the top, and then side lockers. And look at the depth of these drawers on the end here. And then you've got a charging drawer and a power tool drawer here to put all your cordless things in. And then you've got the charging drawer for your chargers and batteries. And then this grey box here, I mean, I'd be happy just to have that. So this whole thing, including Florida sales tax, would cost you $7,057, but they do let you pay it off over 36 months, interest-free as well, which would be like $180 to $200 a month, I think. Insane. You got this side locker on here. Just look in there. Absolutely gorgeous box there. Got the plier line up here. Whole massive shelf, just pliers, the whole thing. Icon and Pittsburgh brand circlip pliers, hose pliers, trim clip pliers, every kind of plier you could possibly imagine. Oil filter pliers, it's all there. Having a quick look at the screwdrivers, was not tempted by any of these at all. I've had the snap-on screwdrivers in the past. I've stuck them on eBay. They were not impressing me at all. They feel good in the hand, but weren't impressing me. I much prefer the Wera ones, much higher quality. More boxes here. This is more akin to what we have available here in the UK, but obviously much cheaper over in the US. Allen keys, again, not interested. Wera ones much better. And look here, just on the end of an aisle, a whole bunch of tool organisers, socket organisers, spanner organisers. Got lights here, you got under bonnet lights, floodlights, the whole lot, all under one roof, all of this. Next to garden lights, look. Here I'm looking for, there was a light that I very much wanted from here, but I have found a cheaper version in the UK that's the same. I was interested as well in this radiator hose pick set, but just too expensive for what I wanted. I've always managed to get hoses off without them. Magnetic parts trays, pretty much every size you could possibly want. Was tempted by this little tray here, but I've got so many magnetic parts trays, wouldn't have been able to justify it. Trim clips, all for sale in here. Got oil drainers as well. All kinds of hoses and fly swatters, gardening tools there. And then lastly, some of their cordless lineup. I know some people really love this stuff, swear by it, but we're already in the Milwaukee line. Air tools as well. Just incredible how much under one roof. Okay, let's have a little look at what I picked up. Now, I will try to leave links in the description for this stuff or similar items if I can, just in case you're interested. But some of these tools just aren't available here in the UK. First thing, and actually the only thing that I got from Home Depot, like you saw, I did look at the Milwaukee die grinders and the mid-torque, but you won't have the warranty if you buy it over there, and they aren't actually much more expensive here. 4-pack of Milwaukee Ink Sols. I'm on the last few of a big pack of Sharpies that I've had for a while. Saw these, only $4.50, so I thought I'd give them a whirl. So these are supposed to be able to write on dusty, wet or oily surfaces, which a Sharpie's not going to do. The tips do clog easily on them. These are clog resistant. You've got a bunch of shavings here, and I've seen it on YouTube. They just tear through them. Hard hat clip, that's really of no concern to us because we won't be doing that. And there's a variety of surfaces they're able to mark on. You've got plastic, steel or metals, wood, brick, concrete. Again, mentioning the hard hat clip there, which I really don't care about. But this I do care about, 72-hour cap off life. I've lost a few Sharpies to just leaving it on the bench with the cap off, and it just dries out the nib. Anti-roll design, that is useful on the bench as well, because again, you throw it on there and they just roll off, and obviously they go straight off the back down the side. I'll be interested to see whether that is with the cap on or whether that still works with the cap off. We'll check that. And this is a fine point set. Let's open these up and get a look at them. You've got to love these cardboard packages. You tear the back off and nope, nothing happens. I got the multicolored set as well, just for different if you've got different colour surfaces or things like that, or if you just want your stuff written out in different colours for different things. So we've got a green, blue and black marker with a red one as well. So obviously they're not going to roll too far with the cap on because the clip's going to stop it. But let's see what they're like. I mean, it stops reasonably quick, but they've not really sold. I think that's what this little bit here, there's like a little rise there. That's what that's supposed to be slowing down your roll. But they'd still make it clean off the bench without the cap on, I would guess, if you threw it down. They might not make it off. Depends how big your bench is. But Sharpies have just got a completely round body like that. You go on there, they're going straight off the edge. No problem. I basically just wanted an upgrade from the plain black Sharpie markers, which is what I have been using for years. But like I said, the tips clog up real easy and they do not recover. You can't get them to recover. And they certainly won't mark an oily surface very well, which these are supposed to be able to do. So we'll just test that. I'll grab a oil filter. Now the only one I can actually find is black, but this is actually good for pointing out something. These are not going to be a replacement. You've got your green one here, pretty fluorescent looking green. These are not going to be a replacement for a paint pen or anything like that. If you wanted to mark a black oil filter like this, I mean, you can make it out, but that's just going to rub straight off for a start, and you're not going to see that when that's down in the engine bay. You need a proper yellow or something like that. Yellow would be good paint marker in order to be able to put anything on here if you wanted to. But if we wanted to mark an oily bit of plain metal, let's say, just grab some kind of, that's brake fluid. I've got my oil can here, perfect. If we put a little, just a smidge of oil on the metal part of that oil filter there. Obviously you wouldn't try and write on something straight like that. Give it a smear, and let's see if it will write on there. It's gone straight through it. But will it smear? Yes, it will. So if that was then rubbed off, it's not actually getting onto the metal itself. It's still sitting on the surface of that oil. But it will write through it as promised, but it will also then just wipe off, not really leaving much of a mark after that. But it will write through the oil as it promised. And then after that, the tip's been contaminated. It's still writing completely fine after going through that oil. Now they're not cheap in the UK, you have to shop around a bit to get a decent price. We'll just have to see how well they hold up and how long they last compared to the Sharpies to see whether they're actually an economical buy for the future. Next up, and again a bit admin-y sort of thing, just like the markers, this is a bit admin-y around the garage. Some Intex cloth-like rags. So I've picked these up as my first delve into trying to find a good substitute for these here. The classic bag of just plain cotton, lint-free rags that you get. Now I do use shop towel, but while it's brilliant, they are very much still a kind of like tissue-based, not really cloth or rag-like thing for wiping down. So I picked the box of cloth-like rags up for something to try out in Walmart. They weren't expensive at all. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've always found problems with these cloths that come in the big bags. The real main one I have is the lack of consistency with the sizes. You'll get all kinds of different sizes, or they'll be torn really long, which is basically useless. You want a kind of nice square. The sizes are all over the place. And the other thing is how some of the fabrics used are no good for wiping up oil or anything like that. This isn't really, it must be cotton, I guess, but it doesn't feel right in the hand. It's not absorbent either, and it doesn't wipe very well, whereas this one's great for it. I'd say when you get a pack like this, maybe 50% or so of the rags, they're just not good. Not good for wiping down, soaking up oil. So this bag of rags was about £15, I think. You usually get 150, 200-ish in these bags, depending on their size. Now, you cannot really get these Intex cloths in the UK, but what you can get is the Scott's rags in a box, which should be fairly similar to these, I imagine. But unfortunately, I've had a good look around and nothing like this. These rags in a box are actually cheap in the UK. And unless they are leaps and bounds more efficient than the rags in the bags that you get, I doubt I'll be buying them again. Now, I will just open up the box and show you how they look. Obviously the box opens better than this when you want to dispense them. There's a little cutout in the top for dispensing, but unlike your shop towel, I've got some here, which is basically just that blue jumbo roll, which, like I said, is very tissue-like. These actually do feel a bit cloth-like in the hand, like you could scrunch them just like a cotton cloth would do. But again, as with the markers, it's a thing that I'm changing after years of using one particular thing, and I'll just have to see if they're economical. But like I said, these are a fortune in this country, so I very much doubt that I will be buying these again, but nice to have and try. Next up is this baby, the Icon Locking Flex Head Ratchet and Bit Set. Now this is something I've seen beforehand, absolutely something I wanted to get whilst I was out there. I did do my research before I went out, and this is the thing that really stood out from Harbor Freight that I wanted above all else. I watched a few videos on it and I had to have one. I did quite often see people saying that it was sold out and there were none on the shelf when I went, so I went and asked at the till register in America, and they went and found them in the stock room. They had, like she said, they had about 10 in there, so if you go and they don't have it on the shelf, make sure you ask. Now this is a 35-piece set, so that's 32 bits, the ratchet and the ratchet extension and the little 1/4-inch adapter that basically turns this into a 1/4-inch drive ratchet. Let's open this up and get a look. Nice fancy box. Not that we really care, but taking some pride in the packaging there. It comes in a quite nice rubberized, sort of feels rubberized on the top, little case here. It seems to have a decent catch on it, so if you drop it, it's not just going to blow open. You've got to actually push that over to the side to open it up there. 32 bits in here, as we can see. Now the bits, I'm honestly not that bothered about. It's nice to have them laid out like this and all together like that, but if I need a good bit, I'm using my wearer bits. What we're really after in this kit is this ratchet, which is just fantastic on its own without these. So like I said, this is a bit ratchet. Now I'm forever just breaking bit adapters or just losing them. And compared to even a 1/4-inch drive, a snap-on 1/4-inch drive, this is so much slimmer. And thrown into the bargain, you can actually use it as a 1/4-inch drive ratchet. When you use that little adapter on there, you can put 1/4-inch sockets on there anyway. So this ratchet is fine tooth. Let's just count them quick for you. I think it's going to be 60 from the top to there, so a 1/4 of a rotation. That was 15, I believe. And don't quote me on that, but 60 is going to make the most sense, I think. I'll just grab a bit out. And we get tons of extra functionality with this little ratchet with the extension as well. We can make the ratchet longer using it for more leverage. We can use it as an extension, just as normal, like that there. And we also can, if we line the cutout in the extension, up with the dot on the ratchet, just right, like that. We can use it as a T-handle, because you can get a bit in that end, and we can use it as a T-handle for actually putting downwards force if we have a Phillips or something like that that's designed to cam out, to use it as a T-handle or a normal screwdriver basically. So it's got all that extra functionality, like I said, and yet compared to a 1/4 inch ratchet just plain, if we take this snap-on 1/4 inch drive, you can see the head is actually slimmer in the first place, so you're getting into a much tighter area. Without the extension, it's obviously quite a bit slimmer, but you might want that. You might want it to be slimmer. This is a slightly long-handled snap-on, so it's not exactly a fair comparison. This would be roughly standard size for a 1/4 inch ratchet. And then when you throw this in there, if you can't break something that needs a 1/4 drive loose with that much leverage, then I don't know, you're doing something wrong. And then again, if we were to stick our adapter in to make it into a just standard 1/4 inch drive, if we put a 1/4 inch socket on the snap-on and a 1/4 inch socket on the icon, you can see the snap-on doing its actual function. The icon is only just a little bit past that in terms of the depth that it's going to be requiring to get in. And then if you use it, this is where it really shines. If you use it for its actual function, for using bits, obviously if you use a normal 1/4 inch ratchet, you've got to put a bit adapter on. Now you can get lower profile ones than this, obviously. They do better ones than this, but this would be roughly standard for what you'd get. And you've got all that you're expected to get in there. You've done a few air filters, dash work, things like that. That is not going to get in there all the time. But if you use the icon one, because it's a pass-through design, it's going into the head of the ratchet itself, so low profile on there. That's just ridiculous. It's almost half. I'd say it is half, in fact. Half the profile on that. And that's what it's actually meant for doing. And of course you got the locking flex function, so you can get your handle out the way if you needed to, just like on this snap-on here. So in comparison to some of the other tools that I've bought, this one is definitely going to get a lot of use from now. Just off the top of my head, as I said, tricky trim areas, air filters, all things like that. Anywhere where you've got a little screw that's just restricted access, this is going to make life a lot easier. Now, I'm so impressed by this. If I do get some time, I'm thinking about making a video just about this. I also know a lot of other brands sell the ratchet component of this, which is basically the bit that you really want, obviously. It's probably all made in a factory. I think it said made in Taiwan, but designed in the USA by Icon. I assume they don't all look the same. I'm guessing they just do a few little different spins on them. But this very similar looking ones to this, with all the functionality that you want, are sold by a lot of different brands for various prices. Now, I have found 2 for sale in the UK so far. I'll leave links in the description, like I said. Unfortunately, they are just for the ratchet extension and the adapter as well, but that's really the bits that you want anyway. Now, in the US, this Icon one at Harbor Freight was $47.50, I believe, with tax, which I don't think that's unreasonable just for the ratchet part. In the UK, they seem to be about £40, but be sure to check both the links. If I find any more, I'll put them up as well, because the price can fluctuate. I did see one as low as £32. Beautiful little tool. Really chuffed I managed to pick that up while I was out there. Next up, again, the Icon brand. I should have mentioned earlier with the bit ratchet set that all these tools, they come with the lifetime guarantee. And basically, I believe with these Icon things, they're basically trying to take on tool trucks with this. They're going for snap-on look. I don't know whether the quality's there or not. I haven't used any of these tools before, and I certainly haven't got enough experience with them to judge their quality. But it's the tool truck look at least, and quality I believe that they're going for here with that lifetime guarantee as well. So these are hose grip pliers, 8-inch ones. Now, to be honest, these were more just a case of I saw them and I wanted them just to see if they really make that much of a difference. I've always gotten by just twisting the hose on the stub and pulling it off, just as long as the hose isn't welded on. If it is, I've got the ones that will go behind it and sort of push it off the stub like that. I also kind of feel that these might actually, they've got serrated jaws on them. I feel like they might potentially damage any hose that they're going to be asked to cut. If you have to grab it all that hard, I can't see that you're going to get away without putting a bit of a bite into the hose itself. Anything that's that stuck on there, they might do that, might bite into it a bit too much for my liking. But we'll see, use them a few times, see if they're any good. I do see a lot of people that will use these, but I've never really found that any lines give that much trouble. And if they do, you're probably going to break the stub if you wiggle it too much. That's why I have those ones that will get behind the hose, support that and push it off. But we'll see. Next up, more pliers, panel clip pliers, trim clips, we might call them. We've got they just say panel clip pliers, and these are push pin pliers. This is Pittsburgh. Again, lifetime warranty from Harbor Freight here. Not that I'm going to be able to claim on that unless I go back, I guess. But the Pittsburgh is, I guess, supposed to be slightly lower in quality than the Icon line that we got the hose pliers in. Now, again, with both of these, this is something I've never really needed. You don't need these, but I've definitely wanted a set for a long time, especially these ones that push the fat the button clips out from wheel arch liners and things, the sort of 2p sized ones that you get. Now you can always use a screwdriver or just a trim tool on them. Screwdriver will sometimes mark them up, but these ones will basically get in behind there as long as there's actually enough room, and you can just push them out quick sharp like that. And these pin ones are for the sort of two-stage clips that you get usually on slam panels and scuttle trims, things like that. Hold on, I'll just go get one. There's these types that they're for dealing with, but they'll only work if you've actually got a little cutout around the outer edge there to get the jaws of this into, get under it, and then you pull them up and out. Again, they wouldn't actually work on these. You can get a pick or something under there in order to get these ones out, but I'm just hoping these will give a little bit of a cleaner removal on the ones that they're specifically designed for. Again, it's going to be a wait and see. And last up is this battery operated liquid transfer pump. Now this thing honestly was cheap as chips. It was on a deal at the time and it was only $8.50, which is about £7. They're about double that out here. So it does take 2 D-cell batteries, which honestly are probably actually going to cost more than the pump itself. It says here that it will pump over 6 quarts per minute. Now a US quart is a little under a litre, I think like 0.95. So hopefully it'll pump about 6 litres a minute then. Now the main thing that actually attracted me to this is the range of liquids that it will actually pump. It says gas, water, oil and non-corrosive liquids. They mean petrol when they say gas, bless them. Now I've got a little drill pump that you've seen me use in the PCV clean out video. But that will not actually allow you to plump any flammable liquids through it whatsoever. But what it does do is work a hell of a lot faster than this thing. The flow rate on that is just phenomenal. I actually use it for draining out the hot tub at the end of the summer and it drains it out very, very quick. Now the hose length on this thing is only 24 inches. Anyone not in the USA or a builder in this country, that's going to be about 60 centimeters. That may be an issue. I suppose we could extend it if we wanted to, if we had a use for that. And if you look at this here, I've seen a classic marketing mistake. pumps over 6 quarts per minute. I don't know how this stuff gets through quality control or people looking at it, but here it says flow rate up to 6 quarts per minute. Well, which is it? Is it over or is it up to? Now, I'm not sure how durable this thing will prove to be. It was bought for a situation that I haven't yet envisaged or come across, but off the top of my head, if I do get a diesel heater for over the winter, depends on which solution I pick for heating the garage up this winter, it's probably going to be mounted up high on the wall, and it'll be easier to pump the diesel up into the tank than it will be to try and get up there and put it in with a jerry can or something. Maybe it'll get used for that, we'll see. Now, new videos coming up. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I just completed what is easily the most cursed job, brake job anyway, that I've ever done. They say bad things happen in threes, and this job really went for it. Doing the rear discs and pads on the Scenic, the first thing that happened, and definitely the most financially and emotionally damaging, my 1/2 inch snap-on tech angle just completely checked out on me. 268. We're up in the air now. There we go. Now that side right there, that's just defeat. Obviously, I wasn't happy about the money aspect. These things are not cheap at all. But I was also wondering how the hell I could torque the other side. But I did remember that I had this little thing which saved the day. This will easily hit, it gets 280 Nm for the hub nuts, and this will hit that no problem. So if I put the battery cap on, you turn this thing on now, and it just errors. There was some corrosion on the battery terminals. I mean, I cleaned that up, but still no joy. You'd think snap-on lifetime warranty, but no, these digital torque wrenches, pretty much anyone that sells them, it's a 1-year warranty with these, so I won't be able to claim on that. I will take it apart myself and see if I can repair it. If I'm successful and that video is worthwhile, might help someone else out, I will record it and put that up as a video. But honestly, if I can't fix it, I doubt I'll be replacing this anytime soon. My snap-on 3/8 tech angle that I've got here, this one hits 130 Nm, which, I mean, that covers 98% of fasteners on a car, and anything that needs torquing above that, you're going to have plenty of access to. They're not going to put something like that in a difficult area to get at, so we can easily use this, I would think, with a breaker bar, usually. That's also the most ridiculous thing about this, is that this 1/2 inch one hardly ever gets used. This one will go up to 130 Nm. This one gets used on pretty much every single job you'll have seen in the videos, whereas this one, I mean, I can probably count on 2 hands how many times I've actually ended up having to use this, and it's broke already, and this one's going great. The second thing, finished up one side, went to the other, pushing the piston back, and of course, calipers seized. I mean, the one that I did first was replaced 2 years before, so I kind of could expect that, I guess. No biggie, 2 brake videos instead of 1 there, but just more money, obviously. The last one, and this just, yeah, I just had to laugh. I took it for a test drive when I was all finished up, a route that I drive literally every single day, and boom, massive stone chip in the windscreen. The road hadn't been resurfaced, anything like that. Car just went past, flicked up a big old stone right at the top of the screen, crack. Auto glass to the rescue. So yeah, absolutely gorgeous job. Really financially damaging as well, with the caliper as well as the tech angle. It remains to be seen if we can fix it or not. That's another thing about the rear pads and discs on the Scenic. Just doing the rear pads and discs, I found some old invoices for R1, and I mean, you're getting charged £300, £400 to have rear discs and pads done. It's just ridiculous. Most of the price is in the parts, but if you shop around, I managed to do the discs and pads for 130, 140 quid. So good savings on that. I'm happy that we've done that video to help people with that. So that's 2 videos recorded and being edited right now. Pads and discs and a caliper. They should be out starting next week. I also did 2 more quick ones, small stuff required to get it through the MOT. Now, I know a lot of you will be screaming out for Clio content. Well, I finally bought some coolant and a chem flush as well for the Clio, which I'm going to do first. The coolant change is a little overdue, so I'll do a flush as well. And then after that video's done, it'll finally be, I meant to do this months ago, it's going to be a cam belt and water pump. Now obviously I could do the cam belt, water pump, change the coolant. It would make sense if you were just doing the job to do all that together. But I want the coolant change and flush separate. I know some people might just be looking to do that on its own. So I guess when we do the cam belt and water pump, we'll just basically be partially redoing what we'd already done, but it's no skin off my nose, I'm not bothered at all. Changing the coolant's definitely something people undertake without doing the water pump or the cam belt, so I'll be happy to have those two videos up separate. And in other news, we also had a lovely experience with our Ford dealer for our 2016 Ford Focus Fay, which you guys haven't seen yet, but I think you will do soon. We have the extended Ford warranty on her just because it's only a tenner a month and all we have to do is get the basic service done to keep it, although it does wound me paying £179 for an oil filter and pollen filter every year and an oil change. Before the MOT, under this warranty, we took it in to have the boot switch replaced, which they managed to then leave a screw inside the rear boot trim that rattled around. No biggie. I thought I'll take it back next week for the MOT and service, have them whip it off and get it out. We got it back after they'd done that and they said, oh yeah, we left a screw inside. Pretty unfazed about that. Maybe it's a regular occurrence. Luckily it wasn't anything in the engine bay. I checked the work over and the boot trim has not been fitted back on right and they've put a nice crack in it. Straight back in again. The manager got a new trim ordered up and fitted a few days later. I said I want someone better doing it this time that's going to pay a bit more attention and work a bit slower perhaps. We got the Master Tech, or whatever that means. All done decent, but a few days later, oil change light pops on. I just sat there laughing. They didn't obviously bother to reset the interval after they service it. I mean, come on. But that's another video for me to make there, I guess. It's just shocking low effort stuff. I mean, £96 an hour for that dealer now if you didn't have a warranty, and that's what you're getting for that money. Anyway, rant over. Right then guys, that's all I've got for you today. If you've enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button for me. If you want to see more videos in the future, then don't forget to subscribe and find me over on Instagram @SocketsAndSideburns. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you in the next video.